Howdy. Where's everybody at tonight? Y'all out watching the fireworks? Yeah, out on a hot day? What's going on? I'm just going to hang here online for a few minutes, see if anybody shows up. I was playing here in the craft room. That's how exciting my life is. Here we are on a Saturday night. I'm just hanging around here in the studio. I call it studio. All you northern folks don't understand what southernism is, you know, for craft room. I'm just hanging out by myself, talking to myself here, wondering where everybody's at. See if y'all want to hang out in the craft room for a little bit. We'll get into something here if y'all come around. I was just painting some paper craft stuff and hanging out here. Wondered if anybody wanted to hang with me in the chat room and try out the live feed. I was over on Facebook for a little bit and didn't see any of my homies in there, so I thought, well, we just try YouTube out and see what's going on. I ain't about to poke my head outside. Lord have mercy, it sounds like a war zone out there. You'd think that Indiana was taking on Ohio or something, the way it's all carrying on. Oh, there's Nalatia. Lord have mercy, got one out there. She getting ready for bed. Lord have mercy, here you are, 10:10 p.m. You're getting ready for bed. Well, you're in pain. I hate to hear that. Send you out a little healing energy for your back. Which direction do I send it? I think you're in Michigan. Give me a heads up. I don't want to send it the wrong way. Might knock somebody out. There's a delay on this. I'm sure you're typing your little fingers off, trying to send me a message. Feel like that song from Jeopardy needs to be playing in the background, you know, like I'm waiting for the final answer. Da 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 da. Oh, you're in Georgia. Georgia. All right. Down in the deep south where the red clay is. Oh, mercy sakes. Well, you understand what I'm talking about then. We have to get you on a panel here. We get something really going. Get Michelle in here. And, you know, you can interpret because she may not understand everything I'm saying. Her being a northern girl and all. I don't know where she got the been getting from, but hey, you know, she'd been around some southern folks somewhere along the line. She picked that up. Well, I've just been playing. I ain't been doing anything in real particular. I painted up these little varmints that I put through the paper casting mold. Hotlanta, Lord, yeah, you're down there in the ceiling fan district. I did a little bit of research, and I'll probably leave this stupid thing up in case anybody is interested in, you know, listening to me jaw on. But I did a little research today about those molds. Now, Rycraft, those folks, they retired, but they sold out to a company called cookiestamps.com. These 2-inch molds like I've got are $6.50 a piece. Woo! That's expensive stuff. But there again, you can use them over and over and over and over and over again. It's not like they're going to wear out anytime soon. The worst thing you could do is drop one and break it, I guess. But they're very durable. But yeah, they're $6.50 a piece. They got about 100 different styles in stock right now. Now you can get vintage ones on Etsy, probably eBay too. I didn't check out eBay, but you might be able to get a better deal, you know, if you check on Etsy or eBay for them. There's also all other kinds of stamps and stuff. You put in paper crafting molds, you put in cookie stamp molds and that in the search engines, and you'll probably be able to find more of them. You had to go grocery shopping, and you picked up a bed and you moved it? Well, Lord, no wonder you're tired. I hope you didn't move the bed when you was grocery shopping. Just say you're on a bed on wheels going down the highway. Oh, you found your mold at the thrift store. Cool. Yeah, I imagine you could, or Goodwill, you know, when they're cleaning houses out and stuff, getting rid of stuff, they'd probably just throw them in a box, send them off to the thrift stores. You're not the sharpest crayon in the box. Well, I guess that's better than being 5 shy 6. My daddy used to get on me over that, because we'd be talking about somebody and I'd say, Lord have mercy, Daddy, I think he's 5 shy 6. And he'd say, don't you say such a thing as that. That just sounds awful. And I said, well, what would you rather me say? That he's a few sandwiches short of a picnic, or, you know, a couple fries short of a Happy Meal? What do you want me to say? You got tired before you got done, huh? Could have used to lay down. Yeah. That lay down's nice. You know, we didn't used to like that when we was kids. What was we thinking? Man, I tell you what. And they used to send us to our rooms. You remember how they send us to our rooms and we'd just be so upset about it? I wish somebody just send me to my room now. No such luck. They say, you got responsibilities. I like the day when I didn't have no responsibilities and I could just go to my room. Oh, man. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I've been married 3 times. The first 2, they oh man, I tell you, people, I've told this story before, and there's some people, they just don't know how to take it. But the first 2, they died from eating poison mushrooms. The third one died from a fractured skull because he wouldn't eat his mushrooms. Yeah, I know about them naps, man. Wow. I sneak off once in a while and get me a nap. Especially since I'm retired. I couldn't do that much when I was working, but now, you know, I'll just shut it all down, just go take me a nap. Man, oh man. I don't know. I've been debating about what kind of a project to get into here next. I've got, you know, the voices inside my head, they keep talking to me. Sometimes I just wish that they would shut the hell up. But they've been giving me some ideas about these picture frames and little things that I can do that might be neat. Or some people might say, well, what the hell was you thinking? But I don't know. I've got an idea about taking some watercolor paper, painting it like a golden yellow color, and then over the top of it, put that honeycomb paper and paint the honeycomb paper brown, and then decorating it up over the top with some flowers, and I've got some little metal bees. I'll make it look like a beehive and put it in a shadow box frame. Oh, what's his name? Earl? Hey, I've heard that song. No, his name wasn't Earl. I've been around a few that I kind of wished was named Earl. We made that story come true right there. Hey, Susan, glad to have you in there with me and Alicia. We're just hanging out here in the craft room, jawing, having a live from the studio. It's Saturday night. Yeah, I hear you, Alicia. I hear you. Oh man. So how you doing out there, Susan? We ain't doing nothing particular. We're just jawing here on Saturday night. Listen to the, I don't know, Indiana at war with Ohio, I think. And I hear the bombs going off out there. But they've been going on for a week. You know, I've got critters. I've got dogs and birds, and they really do not like the artillery fire. So I'm always happy when 4th of July is over with, because the animals stop being sick and stressed and, you know, going wonkers here. But, you know, it's bad tonight. You know, the closer we get to the 4th, the worse it gets. Them M80s are the worst. They rock the house. They just shake this place up. What? Now I'll tell you something else, Alicia. Not only am I a mess, I'm not a hot mess. I'm just a lukewarm mess. Now that's even worse. Hey, I know exactly what you're talking about, Susan. I got 3 dogs and 5 birds. And yes, they do not take all this fireworks and M80s and banging and cracking. Well, yeah, you're right about that, Alicia. When you're in the country, you just hunker down. Try to stay in the basement. You never can tell what's going on. I'm in town. It's bad enough in town. At least when I did live out in the country, though, I lived out in the middle of nowhere. It's a quarter mile to the closest neighbor. That was great. Well, what do you think of my honeycomb idea for the shadow box? You think that's just too wonky, or should I give it a shot and see if it'll work? If you don't mind my asking, Susan, I mean, it might not be none of my business, but what city are you in? Well, yeah, you're right. When I lived in the country, that was the code, Alicia. You know, you hear somebody firing, you just fire back. It's Hatfield and McCoy time. Houston, yeah. Yeah, I hear it's a little rough down there. I haven't been there in many, many years. I was in Houston back. That's a story. Wow. I was in Houston back in, what was it, 1980? I think it was. Yeah, it would almost had to be 1980. And friend of mine, he's a fella I was dating. He owned his own business, and he had this. Well, I don't know exactly what to call it. It was a checker limo station wagon. And when I heard that, I was impressed, you know, because I was a kid and I didn't know any better. I was impressed. The checker limo station wagon. Wow. And he said that a fella in Texas wanted the car, but he had to deliver it down there to him. And he says, how would you like to ride along? And I said, well, I'd have to try to get some time off work, but yes, I'd love to go. I've never been to Texas. And it was July. It was in July. And you know, I was from Ohio, lived in Ohio all my life, and never experienced the heat of the Southwest. So we set it all up. I got the time off from work, and on a Friday, he came and picked me up from work, and I'm standing out on the sidewalk in the big city with my satchel in my hand to get in this car, and he pulls up, and the office-looking thing you ever seen in your life. Lord have mercy, if I had had one brain cell in my head, I would have told him, are you kidding me? And I would have caught the bus and come home. But no, I'm out for the adventure. I went right along. So I get in this thing. And it was a great big old long station wagon looking car that was gunmetal battleship gray. And not shiny, sparkly, you know, it was old. This thing was old. And I climb in on the passenger side of this car, and off we go. We hit the interstate. It was hotter than hell. There was no air conditioning in this car. By nighttime, we was down, where the hell were we? I think we were down in Kentucky someplace in the sticks, and it was late at night, and we were hot. We had just sweat gallons. he had a cooler in the back seat of this car that he filled full of pop and ice, and that was the only thing that was saving us at that point. So we get in this, well, he tried closer to a city trying to get a room, and there was some kind of a convention going on. You couldn't get a room, and we kept having to drive and drive, 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 drive. So finally, it was, I don't know, 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and he gets to this, this awful looking motel place, and we were so tired we just didn't care. And he got us a room. The only running water was from the cold faucet in the room. There was no hot running water for you to take a decent kind of shower. We just fell asleep. I mean, that was it. And he had an alarm set so we could get up. I think it was about 7 o'clock and take off again. So we only got 3 or 4 hours sleep. At least there was air conditioning running in this room. So we get out of there and we take off, and we just drove straight on through to Texas. Well, at one point I fell asleep just before he was getting down to Houston. I woke up and I said, how many times have you stopped while I've been asleep? And he said, I haven't stopped. I've just been driving. And I said, well, I've been asleep a good while. Have you had to stop for gasoline? And he says, no, I haven't had to stop for gas. The gauge still says we have gas. And I said, this thing can't be running on gas for this long. About that time, we were hitting the loop around Houston, and the car starts to sputter. It's run out of gas. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning in Houston, and luckily we had a taxi cab behind us, and the taxi cab driver saw that, you know, we were stranded. So he pulls over, gives us a ride to the gas station. We get gas in the car, and we drive on. Now, we had a room booked in Houston that was a nice room, and it was a nice hotel. One that you walk in, there's a great big lobby, you know, and then you ride an elevator up to the floor. You know, it wasn't one of them 1 hour special motels. So we finally was able to get cleaned up and, you know, get some sleep, and we got the car delivered. And well, there's more story than that goes on after that, but at least we got rid of that rattle-trap piece of crap car. I've been smart enough since not to let anybody take me on that kind of an adventure ever again. Man. Oh, man. I made Alicia laugh so hard that she's either had to go get medication or paid one. She done took off. But yeah, that's my Houston story. It was hot. Oh my God, it was hot down there. People kept saying, but it's a dry heat. Hey, I got news for you. When it's hotter than hell, it don't matter if it's a dry heat. You're going to melt just the same. Oh, I've had some adventures in my time, Susan. I'll tell you what. If you like stories like that, you ought to check out my other channel. The description of it is in the write-up for this video here if you want to check it out. I call it Frequency. But all my story times are on there. I'm not done. I've got more stories that I can tell than what's on there. But stories about how I grew up and things that I've been through in my life. I live in Indiana right now. I'm from Ohio. I moved over here to Indiana 5 years ago. But I had lived in Ohio all my life. And I was pretty much raised by my granny. She lived a quarter mile down the road from my folks, and I spent most of my time as a kid with her. But yeah, people get a big kick out of them story times, you know, stories of me and my granny and things that I learned. And most of them are funny stories. Some of them, you know, are well, I'm not going to say tearjerkers, but, you know, more reality-based stories. But yeah, I've been through all kinds of things in my life. There's a lot of stories I can't even tell on YouTube that I've been through. I think we probably all have a few of them. If you haven't, you ain't been living. Do you like my little critters? I mean, you can be honest with me. If you think that they are just god-awful and you wouldn't want to see them on a package or a card, you can tell me that. It's not going to hurt my feelings. But those are the little duck and the little dog that I did in the molds with my paper casting. And I painted them up last night. And laid them out here to dry good. And then I got this other piece. I don't know. I'm going to put that on a greeting card. That little piece of paper that I made is a demo piece. It's fuzzy. It's got the wool on it that I put on it. Fuzzy piece of paper. But it textures up real nice. Thank you very much. Yeah, years ago, it was right after the boys left, I had been farming. And I decided that with the boys gone, I shouldn't be doing all that heavy lifting and all that working. And, you know, I should be able to sit down and enjoy my crafts. My mother never would let me craft or get into art or anything like that. And I thought, now's my chance. You know, I can start playing with my craft. And I had baskets full of those molds. And because I sold all my critters, I sold the cages, sold all the equipment stuff that I had, and I put my money into the crafts. And I was having fun making paper, making these little molds, and you know, use them for embellishments, and made wall hangings and stuff out of them, and just all kinds of neat stuff. And I was making up stuff that I could take to craft shows, you know, and flea markets and stuff, and have some fun. Well, my husband didn't think much of it. He just kind of looked at me like I was crazy, messing with all that stuff. Of course, you know, I had paper every place. I had molds sitting out with them drying. I had stacks of paper that I was painting. I had stacks of stuff drying that I painted. I had projects in the works. I had 4 or 5 tables around the house with different things going on it. So, you know, I could see where somebody that's not really into it might think that was a bit bizarre. He left me alone about it, but I could just tell that he really wasn't into it, and wasn't thinking much of it. And the thing that really kind of pushed me over the edge was one day I'm working. I'm having me a blast in the house. He's gone to work, and I'm enjoying myself. And my great aunt and uncle pulled in out of Florida unannounced, uninvited. And I mean, I would have had the place cleaned up a little more presentable had I known they was coming, but I didn't think I was out in the middle of nowhere by myself. I wasn't expecting no company. I had this stuff spread out all over Hell's Half Acre. And they come in the house, my aunt's looking all this over, you know, just kind of raised eyebrows and, you know, head kind of dropped and checking it all out. I'm trying to explain to her what I'm doing, and she finally looks at me and she says, well, it looks to me like you're just playing at working. And I said, well, I guess you're right, because this is what I enjoy, so I am kind of playing, but yeah. And I mean, she sat there like a bump on a log the whole time I was there, because she wasn't happy about what I was doing. I guess she expected me, you know, to have some big multi-million-dollar corporate job of some kind. And after she left, I don't know, it just kind of took the wind out of my sails. And I thought, you know, I'm not getting any backing on this from my husband, and I'm not getting any backing on this from my family. I feel like I'm just kind of out here hanging on my own, and I guess maybe I need to just go back to work. So at that point, I just hung it all up, and my molds sit for a long time, and I threw out most of my paper crafting stuff, you know, paper that I had made and all. Got to work and decided that, well, maybe one of these days when I can really retire, maybe I can get back into some stuff then. And I sold about all my molds. Those are the only 2 I got left. And I just, little by little, I would buy stuff for my retirement. Because I thought, one of these days, I'm not going to be strapped down to a job anymore, and I can do what I enjoy to do, and they can all just kiss my big behind. And so I've been buying little things along, you know, and shoving them back and waiting and waiting and waiting. And about a year and a half ago, I was able to retire. Husband is long since gone. I lost him 18 years ago. And I decided, okay, now's my chance to get to crafting. So I have been crafting and have not looked back since. Well, yeah, you're right. Hindsight being 20/20, that's exactly what I should have done, Susan. But, you know, sometimes when you're younger, you just kind of fall to the wayside of what the older generation thinks is right for you. And I have since tried extremely hard not to cast judgment on anybody for anything they do. They've got their own path to follow, their own thing to do. It might not be what I would enjoy doing, but if it's what they enjoy doing, more power to them. That's exactly what they need to do. Yeah, you're right. It's very difficult when you don't have any support. When I was a kid in school, I wanted to take art more than anything. Oh my goodness, I wanted to take art. And my mother was dead set that there was absolutely no way in hell that her daughter was going to get into art. And so I never got to take it. I did enjoy home economics and sewing up until I got a teacher in home ec in high school that, for some reason, and I'm sure everybody has probably experienced this with a teacher somewhere along the line when they was in school, but I got a teacher that hated me. I don't know if she didn't like the way I looked, or if somebody that looked like me had scared her or scared her mama when she was pregnant with her, or what her problem was. That woman hated me. And she made my life a living hell. And after that, I just decided that, you know, this is what I have to put up with in home economics, I'm not going to do it. But I had, up until that point, I'd been making my own clothes with my own patterns that I designed myself, not store-bought patterns. Now, I'd started out with store-bought patterns, but I graduated from that, and I could make my own patterns using my own measurements. And I had, my mother never let me wear anything real short, but, you know, knee length dresses clear down to maxis, middies, and knee lengths, and pantsuits, and all different kinds of tops with all different kinds of necklines and all different kinds of sleeves. And I just enjoyed the heck out of designing and making my own clothes. But that teacher sure took the wind out of my sails. She's somebody that never should have had a degree in teaching as far as I'm concerned. Yep. Yep, that's what I thought. Everybody's had a teacher somewhere along the line that they just did not get along with. And I've had more than one, but she was the worst one because, you know, that was something that I could have really excelled in had she not been, well, I can't think of a nice way to put it. You know, if she hadn't been her, who knows what would have happened. I mean, I might have ended up in design school or anything, you know. She'd have left me alone. But yeah, that you know, you got to be careful what you say to people and what you do to people. People will forget the things that you say to them, but they will never forget the way you make them feel. That is something that stays with you forever. And I always try my very level best. Now, I can't say, you know, I'm not perfect. I can't say that I always succeed at it, but I always try my best to not make people feel bad about themselves or feel bad about what they're doing. Everybody's got a different path that they have to walk, different things that they've got to do, and it might not be what you're doing. Just think what the world would be like if we was all doing the same doggone thing. Just kind of looking over the desk here. I've got stuff so piled up. I've got to get some organizers in here. It'll be a little bit before I can afford to do that. But I've got stuff so piled up in here, hell won't have it. Projects that I've got to get to, projects that I don't know what I'm doing with yet, projects I'm thinking about. I got off on a swap that's on Facebook, and if you haven't seen it, and if you'd like to be involved, you know, hit me up on Facebook. If you type into the search engine on Facebook, brenda.gibson.71, or if you're on Michelle's group, I'm on Michelle's group. You can find me through there, and I'm on that Crafty Mamas group. You can find me on there. But find me on Facebook and friend me, and I'll give you the information there on that swap. They're going to pick partners next Friday on the 7th of July for it, and it's a card swap. You got to make a card, and nothing on the inside of the card, and a blank envelope to go with it. and get partnered up next Friday. And I asked them about is there size on this card? Is there a theme or anything? They said you work that out with your partner when you pick partners next Friday. So it'll be decided then. So I'm trying to give some thought to what I'm going to be doing for a card, although it's a little difficult until I find out if the person I get teamed up with has some kind of theme in mind that they want me to do. But I've got my die cuts and cardstock and all kinds of stuff here that I can decorate one up for about anything, I guess. Oh, you liked my pocket? Cool. My stuffed pocket. I had all kinds of things in that too. I had a tea ball hanging off of it. I had some loose leaf tea in a package in there, and there's some stickers, and gosh, I don't even remember what all I put in there now. I didn't show it all on the video because I figured she'd see it, and I didn't want her to be knowing all the surprises I had in store for her. But she sent me a really cool one too. It had all kinds of neat stuff in it. And I was involved in 4 swaps last month. There was one with the American, or I keep calling it American. It was artist trading cards, the ATCs. And that was fun. It had a 4th of July theme, which that was a little tricky for me because I didn't have a whole lot of red, white, and blue here to do up the cards. But I'll show you these ones that I got from this lady. These were really nice. She did a great job. Probably way better than what I sent her. But this is how we learn, I guess. But there's the one. So tilt it so you can see it. Got Uncle Sam on there. And there's one with the little girl. And then this one has the sailor on it, little sailor boy. And then this one has a soldier on there. She did a really great job on those. But yeah, I'd love to trade cards with anybody if they want to make them up. They're 2.5 by 3.5 inches, and you decorate them up. You know, if you've got a theme, or if there's just something in particular that you enjoy, something that you like to craft, or something that you like to collect, and you like to make a card out of it, something about your home state, whatever. We can do some trading cards. Happy Mail. I'm all up about Happy Mail. Hey, who don't like Happy Mail? Be happy to do trading with anybody who wants to do any trading. There was a sachet dress trade. You make these dresses. You had to make 3 of them, and they were sachets on the inside, and you decorate them up. I did a video on those that I made, and thankfully the girl I traded with had a really great sense of humor. I told her going out, I said, I know how to make sachets. I've never made a dress out of a sachet before. So I don't know. I'll guarantee you this much, it'll be good enough you can hide it in the closet. So she got them. I haven't got hers yet. They had until Friday to send them. So I imagine in the next week I'll probably get hers from her. And there was the pocket, and there was the trading cards, and the sachet. And what was the other one? There's 4 of them I was in. I'll tell you what, when you get old, your brain just freezes up and you don't remember stuff. For the life of me, I can't remember what the 4th one was that I did. I'll remember as soon as I get off the air, because that's how this works. I've learned that, That's how it works. It's like you forget something and you go into a room, and to get it, you say, oh, shoot, I should have brought that with me. You turn around, you walk back into that room to get it, and there's something about going through that doorway. As soon as you go through the doorway, it's like a mind wiper. It wipes your brain clean. You don't even remember your name. But as soon as you go back into wherever it was and you sit down, you remember exactly what the hell it was that you went in there to get. It's like you got out of the antenna zone of that doorway. I'll tell you another thing's a pain in the ass as you get older too, and that's gravity. Have you ever noticed you go to the doctor's office and they got that thing on the wall that's got all the little pamphlets in it that warns you about things like heart disease and diabetes and high blood pressure and strokes and heart attacks, all this stuff that's up there in that rack? There is not one brochure in that whole dog-burned rack that warns you about gravity. Gravity is going to kick your ass as you get older. It is flat out going to beat you up. You be standing totally upright and be fine. And the next thing you know, your hind end's on the ground. Gravity just comes and smacks the far out of you. So, they should have some kind of warning labels or something at the doctor's office to let you know that, gravity is not your friend. Gravity's going to kick your old butt. Your rememberer is broken. Oh my. I've always said the youth was wasted on the young. I would love to be 18 again and know what I know now. Oh, I'd be dangerous. There's a lot of wrong turns that I would not make if I could be 18 and know what I know now. Well, is there anything you girls want to see me make, or you just, just want to hang, or Lisa just wants to go to bed. She's thinking, why is this crazy woman keeping me up? Here I am, my back hurting. I made this. I think I did a video on this for Lee, Victorian Dreams. She said to make a box, make something out of a box for her June challenge. And this is what I made. These are plastic containers that my lemonade packets come in for making my lemonade. And you can get these at the Walmart store. It's the Walmart brand, Great Value brand. And it's got 4 big old packets in it. 2 packs makes like a gallon, I think, of lemonade. And so I had this sitting there on the counter because I've been wondering what I was going to do with it. She said it could be any kind of a box. And you can do anything you want with it. But just decorate it up, take pictures of it, and put it on her site. So I said, okay, cool. Maybe I'll just use that little lemonade container because I've been wanting to do something with it. So I just wrapped some fabric around it. And then I put some lace. I had this fancy lace that's glittery on the bottom. Get it up where you can see it. And then I put another layer of lace around it. And then I put a layer of lace around the neck. I put some ribbon, that's fabric ribbon, on the lid. And then I went around it with this gimp trim. It's got the beads on it. And I put a flat back in the middle of it. I didn't put any trim around the lip of this because if you put trim on it, it's going to want to pop off when you're taking the lid on and off. But down in there, you can see I've got scraps. As I get little bitty scraps and stuff, because there's a lot of projects you can use scraps on. As I get little bitty scraps, I just pop them in that thing. And then when I got a project that requires just little tiny bits of something or another to decorate a flower or something with, I can pop that lid and pull my scraps out of there. So that's a little project that I did. Just a little desk caddy. Looks pretty sitting on the desk. You spent the day at the antique stores, and Leisha spent the day going to the thrift stores. I had not been out of the dog-burning house all day. I tell you what, girls, there's an antique store here in my town, here in Indiana, that you girls would love. It is a huge, huge place. And me being old and kind of crippled up, I don't walk real good anymore. So I cannot walk the whole thing at one time. But I love going over there. They've got all kinds of stuff in there. And just, you know, going through all the old things. There's a lot of stuff that brings back memories. They got toys in there from when they and my little brother, when we were kids. And, you know, I'm thinking this in an antique store. They got the toys in the antique store. What does that make me? Lord have mercy. And stuff that brings back memories, dresser scarves and stuff like that. Granny had on the dressers, and I got all kinds of things in there. I've got a little of it here that I brought home with me. 7 places. I would need wheels on my butt in order to get around 7 places. Well, several of them was grocery stores. Hey, I know what you're talking about. I've got so that I order a lot of my groceries. I've got online grocery stores now, Alicia. You know that? They deliver right to your door. You don't have to leave the couch. Do you live anywhere near Savannah? I got a friend, well, actually, it's a girl I went to school with. She loves to go to Savannah and go shopping in the stores in Savannah. Although, I don't know, I would think it might be a little bit pricey. Because she said that she runs into stars there. She ran into Goldie Hawn and Ryan O'Neal, I think it was. Forget who all else she said she ran into there. But I think, you know, if the stars are going there, it might be a little bit pricey to go. I'm just guessing. It's just my common sense telling me that. Had an online delivery you had to pick up. I hate that. I hate that. I did that here a while back at Walmart. And it wasn't groceries. I wanted a tent for setting up for the craft festivals. And the one I wanted, they had at Walmart for a good price. But you couldn't just go to the store and buy it and bring it home. You had to order it and then go pick it up. But I thought, well, that won't be so bad because I'll just walk there to the customer service desk, you know, and pay for it and they'll bring it out, right? Or, well, I already had it paid for. So all I had to do is walk up there and show them my slip, you know, on the day that it was in. So I figured, well, this won't be so bad, you know. So I ordered the thing. A few days later, they sent me an email that it was ready. So I print off the slip and I go up there to the Walmart store to get it. And I walk up there to the customer service and they said, oh, the customer pickup is in the back of the store. I said, in the back of the store? What in the hell is the customer pickup doing in the back of the store? It should be up here in the front. This is where we got to come in to get it. Can I just drive around it? No, you have to walk to the back of the store. I said, well, where at in the back is it? Oh, it's clear back behind the electronics department. So I'm hiking my crippled rear end all the way to the back of the store. I get back there, and of course there's nobody there. You have to wait until somebody decides to show up. So finally a girl comes in there, and I told her what I was there for, and she says, well, did you bring a cart with you? I said, well, no, I didn't bring no cart with me. I figured somebody's going to take it out for me. And she says, well, let me get somebody. Like I was totally inconveniencing their day. So she gets somebody to haul it out for me. They get it on a cart. Now we go with it and get it in the car. By the time I got the car, my leg was killing me. My lower back was killing me because of my leg. I'm out of breath. And I thought, Lord, I will never order anything from Walmart again. If you have to walk clear to the back of the store and go through all this, I mean, it's all you'd really need to do is just show them up there at the front desk the ticket. They could call to the back and say, hey, this lady's up here to pick this thing up, bring it on up, and put it in her car for her. You know, there's no reason to run somebody ragged. But, hey. But, yeah, I tore up my left leg back in 2001. It was 2 weeks after 9/11. And the tendon came loose from the back of my knee. So I have no tendon in the back of my left leg from the knee up. And with no insurance and no way to, you know, pay for the MRI and the surgery and the hospital stays and all that, I had to just let it heal on its own. I can still walk. I can't walk well. I hobble around, and the doctor told me, well, you know, you always walk with a limp. You'll always be in pain because of it, because, you know, it's going to throw you off balance. And I do. I have sciatica from it. So I do not get around real good. I can walk short distances. I can stand for short periods of time. Sitting for short periods of time is also a good idea, because if I try to sit too long, it's like rigor mortis sits in. So you got to get up and move around a little bit once in a while. But yeah, that's the deal with my leg. Savannah's 4 hours away, and it's touristy. Yeah, I thought, you know, with oh, Paula Dean's restaurant's there. All right. Yeah, I figured, you know, with the stars hanging out there, that it would probably be a little pricey neighborhood close to the Tennessee line. Yeah, I've never tried to order groceries from Walmart. I've always been able, if I can get a hold of a cart, either in the parking lot or right there at the front door, you know, I hate it when I walk in there and they're out of carts. But if I can get a hold of a cart right away, I can lean on that cart and get around the store to get what I need in the way of groceries. But then I got to get it out of the store, and I got to get it in the cart, and then I got to get it from the car to the house, and then I got to get it all put away and all that. And it's much easier to go through either Amazon or Jet or someplace, and they just deliver it to your door, and you drag the box in, and you put it away at your leisure. You got to watch the prices, you know, because sometimes it's way better for you just go to the store. But, you know, you get a discount card. Like I got a Jet discount card in the mail, and that saved me some money. They sent me a card. It's $10 off your first 3 orders from Jet. So if you can get a hold of one of them cards, or they have a thing out there on their website, I believe I saw when I was ordering from them, that had a coupon code for 15% off of your first 3 orders too. So, you know, you can check out Jet if you want to order online groceries. I think Jet even offers fresh foods too. I don't know what they'd hit you for, you know, overnight delivery on stuff like that, because you you wouldn't want that sitting in the sun. Catching up on my reading here. Yeah, walk a football field length to get it. Yes, exactly. Now, see, I stay away from them electric carts. There's a story time on my other channel about the electric carts. I was coming into the store one day, and there's a lady that had rode one of them out and put her groceries in her car, and she's kind of standing there twisting and turning at that cart. And she sees me, and she says, "Would you take this back in the store for me?" And I said, "Well, I've never driven one of them things before. I don't even know how." And she says, "Oh, there's nothing to it." She says, "You just get on there and you pull the handles back on each side and take off on it." And I said, "Well, how do you stop it?" She said, "Let go of the handles." I said, "Well, how do you back it up?" And there was some other gizmo, I think, that you had to use to back up. I said, "All right, well, I'll give it a shot here." And so I get on this thing, and the first thing I do is hit them handles, and I darn near rolled over her. She's trying to get out of the way. I get the thing back in through the electric doors into the lobby there, and I about hit the wall. There's a lady sitting on the bench in there, and she's just shaking her head. And I said, "Well, I've never rode one of these things before." And I got off of it, and I said, "And I'll never ride one again." And that was my personal last time riding one of them electric carts. Oh. Yeah, but here where I'm at, I'm in a city, but it's a small city, about 6,000 people, and they don't have any home delivery on groceries here in my little community, and probably never will. We're lucky to have Benny Pizza deliver in this town. Well, Susan, it was great to have you in here with us. It's been fun having you in here. I hope I was able to entertain you a little bit. Might not have given you much inspiration, but I hope that I did entertain you a little bit. Thanks for keeping me company. Yeah, I've got a friend that lives in North Carolina. She goes to Walmart and rides them carts all the time. She says, oh, it's not a big deal. She says, you're just making too much out of it. And I say, you say that now. And wait till there's a film at 11 and some crazy redheaded woman running over somebody in the Walmart store. You know it'll be me. You never know what I'm going to say next, Susan. Oh. Well, he's having fun last night over there on Crafty Mama's channel. He's talking about pig-shaped cookies. And they never did tell me if they's bacon flavored. Then they got to talking about chocolate-covered bacon. And I said, chocolate-covered bacon pig-shaped cookies. Well, this is true, Alicia, but I'll tell you what, when I don't feel like dressing up to go to Walmart, then I can just go over to the dollar store. It would be a real hoot for me and you and Michelle to get together. We'd be the craftinistas. Craftinistas gone wild. I didn't even set up at the farmer's market. I may not go back to the farmer's market here anymore. I've been sitting up there every Saturday, but they're not making a go of it here. They've gone through an upheaval, and it's like the wind's out of their sails. And I've offered to try to help them with it a little bit, help them build it up. They're not very welcoming to the ideas that I have to try to build it. And I'm not very welcoming to the idea of going over there and being gone for 5 hours on a Saturday morning with the setup and tear down and sitting there for the time that it takes and not making any money because they can't get people to come to the farmer's market. So, you know, I think we're at a standoff here. So I didn't even leave the house this morning. I just stayed home, slept in for a little bit. No, I have not seen that. Is that on YouTube? Dollar General? We got one of them stores here in town that they don't seem to have very much in there. I've been to better ones. Maybe it's because this is a small town kind of out of the way of everything. They don't have any good flea markets around here. This thing here in town is supposed to be a Saturday morning farmer's market. And they made the lady mad that brought the vegetables to the farmer's market. So now they ain't got nobody bringing vegetables to the farmer's market. A bunch of crafters been showing up there with craft stuff. And the people that's coming to it are ticked off because when they come to a farmer's market, they at least like to get the vegetables. And the gardens aren't in yet. You know, everything was late here because we had a late frost. And I told them to get somebody to go to the auction and buy a little bit of stuff. They don't have to bring a flatbed in, but, you know, a couple bushels of something, some tomatoes or beans or, you know, something to sell. We'll figure out what to do with whatever's left over. They'll probably sell most of it if they only bring a bushel of each thing in. And nobody wants that to happen. They said, no, we need it to all be local stuff, local stuff. And I said, well, then you started your farmer's market way too early. You should have waited and not had it until middle to the end of July, if that's what you want to do. And I said, you know, if you want to build it up for a craft market, I can help you with that. And no, they don't want to do that. And I said, well, to be here for 4 hours is really not enough time. There's a lot of people like to sleep in on Saturday morning. They work all week and they'd like to get a little more sleep. And so we have people pulling in here at noon when we're trying to pack up. How about if maybe we start a little later and keep it open a little later? No, we don't want to do that. And one girl jumped all over me for that. Says, I got things to do. I ain't got time to sit here all day. I'm like, okay, fine. Well, can't do nothing to make y'all happy. Maybe I'll just stay home. Well, I'll have to look them up. Do you remember what the names of them are, or do you just type in Dollar General to it, or Dollar General? Well, yeah, and I think some of that, Nalisha, is them being young. You know, these are all young people. I've tried to tell them, look, I have been doing farmers markets, animal swap meets, craft shows, flea markets, all this kind of stuff for over 30 years. There's things that I've seen, things that I've witnessed. I know some things that could benefit you, and you'd be well off to listen. And they just turn their nose up and walk off. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it, kind of thing. Okay, that's what I'll do. Matter of fact, I will jot that down right now, because if I don't, I'll forget it. Let me find one of my neat little pens here. I got these from the Wish store, wish.com. You ever been there? And I do not know why the writing shows up backwards on the camera. Ain't that something? Learn something new every day. I didn't know that until I turned this thing on. I had been playing with my new pens there on my little piece of paper I was using for a paint palette, and saw that my writing comes out upside down on the camera. No, they don't want to listen to nobody. I've told them things like, whenever you're setting up at any kind of an event, I don't care what it is. If it's an animal meet, if it is a craft show, flea market, farmer's market, whatever it is, there needs to be some food there. And wherever the food vendor is, the smart people are set up right close to wherever that is. Now, at this little farmer's market, it wouldn't make any difference because they only have like 6 or 8 people set up there. I said, you need to get a food vendor. And well, then they said that because of the laws in Indiana, you have to have at least a dozen vendors set up in order to be able to have a food vendor, because of, I don't know, the FDA or USDA health department rules, whatever it is. And I said, well, that wouldn't be hard to do. I mean, you know, we've got about half of that now. If we put a little effort into it, we could probably get the rest that we need. And let's get somebody in here with a food trailer, because where they're set up, there is a coffee trailer, but they don't sell any food or anything. I said, hey, you know what? You're missing the boat here. If you got you a donut vendor in here where they're making fresh fried donuts on a Saturday morning, until you get the garden stuff in here, that would be your hot draw. Because people pull in here to get their coffee, they come right on over here and get their donuts and be walking through this farmer's market. And, you know, they're enticed by anything that the rest of us have out, we could be selling. But if you don't have anything in here to entice people, people ain't going to come in here. I can't tell you how many times, it's 4 weeks I've sat up there at that thing, and people have been, don't you have any tomatoes? Don't you have any vegetables? You know, and I'm telling them it's too early, our gardens aren't in yet, and they're looking at me like I've grown 2 heads and speaking some foreign tongue, because they know that they can go to the grocery store and they can buy vegetables, and they don't understand that it's shipped in from Argentina or somewhere. I'm saying local stuff will not be here until mid to late July. That's, you know, just the way it is. And So, you know, those people, they won't be back until such time as there's a little bit of fruits and vegetables out there for them to pick from. Yes, they do need to listen, but they ain't going to. You know, my suggestion was, well, okay, let's start it a little later. They want to run at 8 to 12, and I said, why don't we run it, say, from 9 to 2 or 9 to 3, and that one girl jumped all over me. Oh, no. She was not going to put up with that. And, well, the straw that broke the camel's back was when I was getting ready to leave last week, and the battery was dead in my van. Now, I have never had any problem with my vehicle since I bought it. And I bought it in 2012. But it is time for the battery to be changed. And I knew that. I was thinking about it a couple weeks ago that, you know, it's probably time by fall I need to get the battery changed or I'll have problems with it this winter. Well, it started up fine for me to go up there to the market. I go up there and I get everything set up and I sit there all morning and it's time to leave. I've got everything packed up. I go to get in the vehicle and it won't start. Battery is dead. And everybody else is trying to leave, and I hollered over there, hey, I've got a dead battery. And I thought that girl was going to strike me. That is the look she gave me. Like it was all my fault the battery died in the truck. You know? And another fella hollered that he had some jumper cables, and he'd help me get it started. So she took off, and I thought, look, you know, I don't have to put up with this. I'm too old to put up with people giving me dirty looks and being hateful to me. And this was something that, you know, was unavoidable. Stuff happens. Batteries die. It wasn't like I'm driving some old junker. My truck looked like it just come off the showroom floor. So, you know, I left there. I went straight up to the Walmart store and got me a new battery and put it in my van. And, you know, all is well with the world. But it was just the way she treated me. And I thought, you know, they don't want to make anything out of this market. And they don't want to listen to me, and I've tried my best, and I'm not making any money here. You know, I'm just getting myself beat up every Saturday coming up here, and then to be treated awful, I don't need that. So, you know, this week I slept in, and probably will next week too. Yeah, they ship stuff up here out of Mexico and Argentina. There's all kinds of places they ship the vegetables and stuff in from. And people don't understand, you know, that local stuff, because they're not growing their own gardens. And a lot of them never have grown a garden. They don't know anything about gardening. And they don't understand that it takes time once you put it in the ground for it to develop and create a product. You know, we just got the gardens in the ground middle to late May, started the farmer's market there the 1st of June, and people are saying, well, where's the vegetables? We just put them in the ground. We got a magic wand. We're going to go out there and wave over the dirt and out. Jack's magic beanstalk's going to pop up out of the ground and be up in the clouds by morning. What do you think? Hey, Sonia, good to see you in there. Chinese garlic, huh? Well, learn something new. You know, I didn't realize, I guess, you know, they can probably grow that there. When I think of China, I think of rice, you know, because of the rice paddies. But I guess, you know, they probably do grow all kinds of stuff over there. I just never stopped and thought about it. Sonia, mate, and Alicia, we're just hanging out here. I got tired of hearing the artillery fire, so I come up to the studio to hang out and see who was online. Not doing anything in particular, just jaw-jacking here. Yeah, it is sad, Alicia, and it's going to be sadder, you know. I tell you what, if the economy was to fail like it did in Venezuela, people don't know how to grow nothing. They don't know nothing about how to put up food, how to can food or freeze food or salt cure or anything. They're used to being able to just jump up and run to the grocery store or to the carry out or have a pizza delivered. They don't know how to cook. They're going to be hard pressed. If push comes to shove and there ain't no groceries at the store, you know, that's what they faced down there in Venezuela. There wasn't no food in the store. And it's going to be a sad day in Whoville. People ain't got no victuals. Nobody knows how to have them emergency supply food put up. Yep, me too, Alicia. Well, there's all kinds of videos, Sonia. All kinds of videos. They'll show you how. It's not difficult to do. It's just people don't know how. Get on YouTube and look up canning beans or canning tomatoes. And, you know, your basic garden foods. How to put stuff up. Pickled beets and eggs. I remember when I was raising them boys. They didn't like pickled beets and eggs, they said. And I said, well, you're going to like them or go hungry, because we going to be eating plenty of them. I had all kinds of poultry, you know, and they lay way more eggs than what we could just eat. And so, you know, put them up, because in the wintertime, the chickens don't lay. And in the wintertime, you're eating pickled eggs. Well, there's nothing wrong with using a dehydrator for beef and fruit and that kind of thing, but there's no reason that you can't learn how to can either. Canners are not that expensive. Get you some ball jars and lids and a canner, and that's all you need is water and your vegetables, a little salt. Exactly, Alicia, exactly. Well, what I did, Sonia, in my backyard, because, you know, I'm not able to crawl around on the ground and, you know, do like I did when I was a kid with a garden. I got those fabric pots. You can get them in all different sizes, and the ones I got are 100-gallon ones. And then I got some potting soil stuff from the home and garden store, put in them. And so my garden's all up out of the ground. Those fabric pots are good because the roots get more air, and it's easier to take care of. You don't have to bend as far. I can just take a folding chair out, and put it there by the pot, and I can just sit there and weed and pick and, you know, whatever I need to do with whatever's in that pot, and then move to the next one. And I got a little wagon that I pull along too, and put whatever I need to put in the little wagon, little garden cart. And then when I'm all done, fold up my chair, put it on top of the garden cart, and cripple my butt back to the house. So even us older crippled up folks can have a garden. Yeah, the thing about them homemade greenhouses are you got to know how to heat them and how to vent them. Probably, Sonia's in Texas, so the heat probably wouldn't be the big deal as much as venting it in the summertime so you don't cook everything in it. Well, pressure cooker, yeah. Now, I've got a pressure cooker. It's a brand new one. I've had it for about a year, and I never fired it up yet. I've threatened to several times, but I have never used a pressure cooker. All the canning and stuff that I've ever done has been in the water canner. You either water can it or you freeze it, where I come from. But I don't know. I may get froggy one of these days and decide to fire that pressure cooker up and see how it works. Well, I guess I need to jot that name down here too, sister. And Alicia's gonna school us. Oops. Knocking stuff over here. Let's see. Let me write that name down here too. And I'll check her channel out. Yeah, I like my my fabric pots. Now, I don't know how long they're going to last. This is only the second year that I've had them. But so far, they're holding up real good, except for the one that I hit with the lawnmower and ripped the side of it. But that's okay, because I got a whole bunch of them out there. And eventually, I will take the shovel and put the dirt that was in that one over into some of the other ones. And so it's all going to be okay. It's not a big deal. But it's right there by the gate, and I misjudged the distance with the grass, the thing that spits the grass out on the side of the mower, and happened to hit the side of it and caught it just right and tore it. Well, I found mine online, Sonia. You just type in Google fabric pots. They have all kinds of videos on YouTube about gardening with fabric pots. You can type that into the search engine, and it'll bring up all kinds of information on them. The one channel I was looking at, they had a drip water system set up over their fabric pots. So, you know, you didn't even have to go out and water them. Now, this year has not been a real big deal on the water because it's rained fairly steady here, enough to keep things wet enough that I haven't had to go out and water yet. But I've got hoses, and it doesn't take that long. You know, I don't have a big garden, but I've got hoses here that I can run some water out if I need to. Well, see, that's exactly why, Alicia, that I have stayed away from them, because I've heard stories like that. And, you know, I don't want to go through anything like that. This is a new one, and, you know, it's not like I got this secondhand or anything. So, you know, it should be fairly safe. But when you don't know anything about them, except the horror stories you've heard, you get a little apprehensive about whether you want to get involved with them or not. So, you know, and I'm here alone. You know, it's not like I've got anybody that, you know, if I tear myself up, that I can say, hey, you know, call somebody to scrape up the pieces, whatever's left of me. Yeah, when you live alone, Tony, you don't use a whole lot of water. It's not like, you know, I'm worried about the water usage or anything. It's just I haven't had to, because it's rained steady enough that it's kept everything wet down enough out in the garden that I haven't had to run the hoses or do anything. They're all piled up there on the patio for me to hook up and run if I need to. But, you know, I don't believe in making extra work for myself. If I don't need to run the water, I won't hook them up. When it comes such time as I do need to, then I'll hook them up and do something with it. Yeah, my mama didn't use one either. Yeah, I use it's a big water bath canner. Got a rack in it that I use when I can stuff. And I've had it for buku years. Those things just never wear out. Forget how many jars and holes in it. Was it 7 or 9? Something like that. Holes in it. Yeah, everything is built for obsolescence now. Things just don't last very long anymore. And trying to get anything repaired is like pulling teeth. Around here, just trying to find somebody to fix something, you know. I've got a fella that agreed to do some work for me, and he was here last week and took a look at some of the things that I want done. Just little repairs around the house, nothing really major. Just, you know, things that's need to be done for a while, and I've just kind of let him mount up so that I had a list. And he was here last Monday, and I said, well, when do you think that you can get to it? And he says, well, it'll be sometime next week. And I'm thinking, well, you know, Monday's going to be out because it's going to be a long weekend, and Tuesday's a holiday. So, you know, Tuesday's going to be out. So it'll be Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, possibly, before he thinks about coming over here to fix stuff. And, you know, that was last Monday. So, you know, you're talking almost 2 weeks, maybe, to get somebody in here to do anything. And heaven forbid you need something done in an emergency. My grandparents on my dad's side were the pioneers of my family. My mother's side of the family, that was a goofed up bunch over there, let me tell you what. It was so bad my mom didn't even want nothing to do with them. Pretty much dad's side of the family wasn't no picnic either, but my grandma and grandpa, you know, I treasured them. No, they don't have work ethic anymore. They don't, I think that the government owes them everything. They don't understand that the government is us. The government is the people that's working and paying taxes in order to pay for all the things that these people enjoy. I don't know about you, but it really burns me to be in the grocery store, you know, and here I am, fixed income. I've got to be careful how I spend my money and watch what I'm doing on Social Security. And I go through there, you know, with my piddly on sale everything, you know, that I bought, and I get behind somebody with 4 or 5 or maybe even 7 or 8 kids that they look able-bodied enough to work. They don't look like they're in any pain. They're not crippling around. Young person in their mid-20s, and they're paying with an EBT card, and they're buying $700–800 worth of groceries at a time, and they're buying steaks, and you know, they're buying fancy cuts of meat. And they pay with the EBT card. You know, I'm like, man, what's wrong with this picture? Yeah, entitlement. That, yeah. Yeah, I had a chat with a young lady. Now, this has been, this has been probably 10 years ago. She was living with her grandparents. She had 2 kids, and this place where I was living had just opened up a Dollar General, and she's saying that she put in her application hoping she could get a job at the Dollar General. And I looked at her and I said, well, listen, wouldn't it be better if you got a job working, say, for the county? We're sitting there right close to about 4 counties. And I said, you got a vehicle. There's no reason you can't drive. You got somebody to watch your kids there at the house. Why don't you put your applications in and get your county job working at one of the courthouses? I said, you know how to file and type and that sort of thing, don't you? You could work in an office. Well, yeah. I said, well, why don't you think about getting a county job? And at least then, you know, you'd be getting better benefits than what you'd ever get working at the Dollar General. And she says, well, now that sounds like an idea. A few days later, she came back over to the house and she said, hey, I can't be working like what you was talking about. And I said, why not? And she says, well, I'd lose all my government benefits. She would lose her government benefits. She's riding a welfare wagon. Now, you know, I understand she's getting free medical everything for the kids, and you know, she had the free cell phone and, you know, the EBT card and all that kind of thing. But those are not benefits. Those are not benefits. But that's what, you know, the family had told her, that she was getting benefits. At that point, I just shut down. You know, it's like, hey, you cannot fix stupid. One of these days, your benefits gonna run out, sweetheart. You're gonna wish that you'd listened to me back when you had the opportunity. Yep, the Dollar General, Alicia. But yeah, that's the mentality, and she's not alone. You know, that is the attitude every place, with all of them. The benefits. I mean, when I signed up for my Social Security, it really, really irked me. You know, when they're calling them my benefits, and I said to them, I said, look, I don't want to argue with you about this, and I know it wouldn't do any good anyway, but I'm going to make a point here about this. Is the Social Security is not a benefit. My husband and I paid into the Social Security all of our lives. So, you know, you can stop calling it a benefit like I'm riding a welfare wagon or something because I'm getting Social Security, which I had paid into. The girl shut up at that point. Yes, you're right. It's your dang money. You worked for it. You paid into it. And it's not like you had any choice either. You can't opt out. You work, you're going to be paying in Social Security, like it or no. I remember a show used to be on TV called 70s Show. I'm sure you both remember it, know what I'm talking about. There was a little girl on there named Jackie, and she got her first job working at the cheese store selling cheese. And she got her first paycheck, and she's looking at it. She says, well, this can't be right. And she's saying, they took out for this, they took out for that, took out for this. And whoever this FICA bitch is, she owes me some money. Yeah, Illinois is in trouble, and so is Connecticut. I was reading about that the last couple of days in the news. Connecticut's in trouble too. Well, ladies, here we are at 11:30. And Alicia wanted to go to bed before I even came on here. She had her jammies on and her little teddy bear all cuddled up. And, and I interrupted her sleeping. So I probably ought to get off here and let Alicia get some sleep. I won't be mean and call it beauty rest, you know. Yeah, Sonia's out there in Texas where it's only 10:30. She got an extra hour of fireworks. I better be shutting that stuff down earlier tonight than they did last night. They still shooting it off 3 o'clock this morning around here. Well, we better let you get some sleep, Leisha. You fall asleep on the keyboard and drool on it and electrocute yourself. Well, I think I'll shut it down, ladies. It's been fun talking to y'all. I'm glad you come and kept me company. Maybe next time I do this, I'll be a little bit more prepared. At least you can watch me make something, you know, or do something, or, you know, I could do, you know, finger dancing. Something to entertain you a little bit more. Something. Sing some songs to you. I did the Jeopardy theme while I was waiting for Alicia a while ago. But I'm going to say goodnight to you, and we'll let y'all get your rest. And, you know, hit me up there on Facebook or Hangouts, or, you know, whatever you want to do. If there's some kind of crap you want to see me tackle or mess with or something, you know, I'll give it a shot. Not everything I do turns out, so, you know, I might just make a lukewarm mess, but hey. But we will shut her down and say goodnight to you, and dream crafty dreams, and we'll be checking in with you soon. Nighty night.